Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are diving deep into the hard data from 2026. We're going to see exactly why switching to commercial electric vehicles is way past being just a nice environmental PR stunt. It's actually a strict, undeniable financial imperative for businesses right now. So if you've been sitting there wondering whether the economics actually make sense for fleets today, well, you're definitely in the right place. To get there, here's our agenda. First, we'll look at the 2026 electric fleet. Second, we're getting into battery myths officially busted. Third, fixing the charging network. Fourth, we'll talk about the mobile charging rescue. And finally, number 5, the ultimate ROI calculation. Let's jump straight into Section 1, the 2026 electric fleet, moving from pilot to mainstream. You see, we're really no longer comparing experimental hardware here. Today's electric models, like the Rivian EDV and the Ford E-Transit, offer incredibly sophisticated telematics and dedicated parcel workflows. Honestly, legacy gas models just can't match it. Companies like Amazon have already deployed tens of thousands of these Rivian EDVs all across the US. They've totally proven their viability at a massive scale.
But here's the thing. You probably don't want to force an EV into a cross-country hauling job just yet. Their absolute sweet spot? It's high-stop urban and suburban routes, where they're driving, say, 80 to 150 miles a day. Because all that stop and go actually works in your favor through regenerative braking, which absolutely saves on brake wear. Plus, predictable out and back paths mean you can leverage cheap, cost-effective overnight depot charging. It's a total win-win.
All right, moving on to Section 2, battery myths officially busted, extreme durability and weather resistance. If you think batteries degrade rapidly and just absolutely kill the resale value of the van, well, think again. Geotab's 2026 data, which analyzed over 22,700 electric vehicles, reveals a tiny 2.3% average annual degradation rate. To put that into perspective for you, these modern batteries are actually outlasting the planned replacement cycles that most commercial fleets already use. And what about the whole cold weather myth? The idea that electric vans just freeze up in the winter? Well, KTL's newly launched TechTrans 2 sodium-ion battery was engineered specifically for light commercial vehicles, and it can actually be connected for charging at a freezing negative 30 degrees Celsius. Let's be real, at those temperatures, your drivers will probably break down long before the van ever does. Actually, scratch that. It gets even better. Down at negative 40 degrees, this mass-produced sodium-ion battery still preserves 90% of its usable capacity. No way, right? But it's true. This completely busts the range anxiety that people usually associate with cold climates. The battery chemistry we have in 2026 has literally fundamentally changed the game. Now for Section 3, fixing the charging network, the predictive maintenance boom. So, enter predictive maintenance. This is an AI-driven approach that acts kind of like a crystal ball. It detects anomalies inside the charger, things like weird thermal changes, cooling fan vibrations, or just general connector wear days before an actual outage even occurs. Instead of reacting to a dead charger, operators are predicting it. And let me tell you, the results are staggering. By catching these issues up to 96 hours early, network operators are reporting that they've reduced their unplanned charging downtime by up to 45%. For a delivery fleet that's running super tight schedules, this ensures the vans get the power they need exactly when they need it, completely avoiding cascaded delays across all their delivery routes. Because think about it, a single charger outage can cost operators up to $1,200 in lost revenue and emergency dispatch fees. Yikes. That is exactly why we're seeing this massive leap in the market. The predictive maintenance market is expected to skyrocket from $2.8 billion in 2025 all the way to $10.6 billion by 2034. It's rapidly becoming the absolute backbone of reliable fleet operations. Let's transition to Section 4, the mobile charging rescue, on-demand power delivery. So even with that amazing AI predictive maintenance, the data shows us that only 35% of US interstate highways have chargers every 50 kilometers. When you compare that to Europe's 75% coverage, yeah, that leaves a lot of open road. So what exactly is the backup plan for a delivery driver who's out on an unpredictable route? Well, the answer is on-demand mobile EV charging. With over 160,000 EV roadside calls recorded recently by AAA alone, these mobile units act as a rapid response team.
They're already operational in over 250 US cities, and they can pull right up and pump 100 miles of range into a stranded van in under 30 minutes using DC fast charging. It's pretty incredible. Now, the real paradigm shift here is realizing that mobile charging isn't competing with fixed infrastructure at all. Providers like Be-Charged EV act as an essential safety net for commercial fleets. It fills in the gaps and makes sure that even if a route goes terribly wrong, costly downtime is entirely avoided.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate ROI calculation, the financial bottom line. Let's talk numbers and look at the per-mile operating costs from Recharged. Between fuel and the endless maintenance, legacy gas vans cost around 28 cents per mile to run. Electric vans? Just 10 cents. Because EVs have no oil changes, no spark plugs, way fewer moving parts to break down, and they utilize cheaper electricity, the operational savings are immediate. It's literally a totally different ballgame.
Which brings us to the ultimate ROI calculation. Let's look at a really realistic scenario for a 5-van local delivery fleet over 5 years, assuming they drive about 25,000 miles a year per van. Now, yes, the electric vans definitely cost more upfront to acquire, $375,000 versus $275,000 for the gas vans. But look at the 5-year operating cost. The electric fleet costs just $62,500 to run, compared to a whopping $175,000 for gas. That 60 to 75% fuel and maintenance savings completely offsets the higher upfront price tag. So when you tally up the total combined costs over that 5-year horizon, the electric fleet ultimately saves the business $12,500 compared to the legacy gas models. And remember, the more miles you drive and the higher gas prices go, the faster that payback period shrinks. This brings us to our core thesis. As Recharged puts it so perfectly, electric vehicles are no longer just a PR play for big brands, they're simply a better financial tool. Making the switch to electric delivery fleets in 2026 is no longer just a green initiative or a PR talking point. With data-backed durability, AI-protected charging, and radically lower operating costs, it is simply a superior financial tool. So the crucial point to take away from this explainer really boils down to a simple question. We've seen the 2.3% degradation, the AI preventing outages, the mobile rescue networks, and the thousands of dollars in real-world savings. With all these invisible economics at play, the next time a package arrives at your door, can your business afford not to make the switch? Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.